Hello, hello, hello. All right. Good morning, good morning. So it is currently 3:36 a.m. and we have a Marvel Future Evolution conference coming up shortly here. So right now they're just talking about the market for Malaysia and oh my on the left side cuts off a little bit. That's fine. And then in about 10ish minutes, Danny should be coming on. I know it's kind of low. I'll obviously up it in a bit. Just because me personally, I don't really need to know any of this stuff here. So, what's up, Zona? Good morning. Good morning. Yeah, I went to bed around 11 o'clock, and it's 3:30. So about 4.5 hours of sleep here. So yeah, good times. What's up, Daniel? Actually, I was reading this before I went live here, and they're talking about PC versus mobile. How I think it was mobile has more revenue in Malaysia than PC gaming, which I thought was kind of cool. What's up, how fair? Let me do this really quickly. I'm just gonna change something. I'm gonna try to see if I can find some captions. He's actually he's actually just reading off directly from the slide. Yeah, he's kind of just reading off right from here, so it's actually not that bad. And of course, if you want me to ask anything in their chat, I definitely will. I'll say something in the bottom right here. There we go. We don't need the left side there.
popular and getting more mainstream. And the top games in the country, both for PC and mobile, are esports titles. Lastly, local game studios in Malaysia have shown the ability to produce AAA games. And that would be it for me. Thank you for your attention. And from Nico Partners, we have several reports that are upcoming, including our Asia 10 reports, which covered country level reports on 10 markets in Asia. We also have our China reports, our China streaming tracker, and our own esports tracker. Nico Partners is a market research and consulting firm covering the games market in Asia. We have a global
Hmm.
team that allows us to efficiently follow the sun from offices in Silicon Valley, Shanghai, Jakarta, Bangkok, and London. And we have a notable array of clients from
Okay,
gaming
so
publishers,
he's gonna end here, and then on the
MNOs,
bottom right,
software
he's gonna
makers,
take like some
administrators,
questions.
esports builders, payment providers, and more.
Yes, when I was reading
Thank you. Terima kasih
there was this
banyak buat
agenda here
teman-teman. You can
on
always
stuff that he
follow
would
us
talk
at
about.
Nico China
We
on
may
Twitter.
not get release information,
Subscribe to our Nico News free weekly market intelligence.
but who
Visit
knows?
nicopartners.com.
Yes, I will leave
We
this
also have
live
our
stream
own
on
articles and media
afterwards.
reports
It will
on
need
our
time to
website.
process
Back to you.
and whatnot before it goes live. So it'll probably be up in a few hours.
Thank you, Darren, for the great presentation.
How does audio
Thank you
sound?
for staying with us to the Q&A session.
Thank you. It's great to be here.
Yeah, and I think that we
I think a little loud.
But feel free, everyone, similar to what we did with Mohan, just to chat in the Q&A section, and then people can just rate it. So we will choose the priority questions and then go down. So we can start with the one from Kua. And the question was,
This guy's very
when you
loud on the
project
left
the
here.
numbers to increase by that amount, what about the percentage increase in comparison to other Southeast Asia countries? So is it projected to retain the 10% or increase in percentage?
All right, that's a great question. And we in EcoPartners do track the percentage change like year by year for mobile games, PC games, the number of gamers all across Asia. And for
How's their
Southeast
audio sound,
Asia,
guys? Because for me, they're very loud.
we forecast that although the number will keep growing in terms of like the number of gamers, the number of revenue generated from mobile and PC games, but the growth will be slower. It will, especially so it's going to increase, but not as fast as before the pandemic. And with the pandemic going on, and even after the pandemic is over, we forecast that it will be slower. For example, for the mobile games market, in terms of the revenue, although it will still keep increasing from like the current number from like 350 million US dollars per year in 2020, and we estimate that it will still keep growing to reach like $500 million in like 2 or 3 years. But the rate is slower. It's not going to stay more top more than 10%. It will decrease because of the pandemic and the after effects. Similarly, the number of gamers is also expected to still increase, but at a slower rate due to the pandemic. And compared to the rest of Southeast Asia, Malaysia actually has one of the biggest increase in terms of percentage. It's not as big in terms of growth as the Philippines, but it's bigger than most of the other Southeast Asian countries. It's
Sorry about that.
bigger
I'm trying
than
to figure out some
Philippines.
audio
It's bigger
settings
than
here.
Indonesia. But yeah, because of the pandemic, it will get slow in terms of their growth.
Thank you, Darang. And we got a lot of feedback that the data is very useful. So thank you for the slides. The other question that we have from Hasnul, what are your thoughts of the growth of consoles that you haven't mentioned, PlayStation, Xbox, Switch, and so on?
Yeah, so in Southeast Asia, console is not a big market as opposed to mobile.
That I knew actually.
Southeast Asia is a mobile first in terms of
That
market. But console
mobile
is
was
also
much
growing.
bigger
We
in Southeast
we
Asia.
only track in general the growth of console in China, Japan, and Korea, not necessarily in Southeast Asia. But as like the economy is healing after the pandemic and has interoperability between games. So multi-platforms are like the ones that can be introduced in Southeast Asia. So people can play the
Mm.
same games in console, mobile, and PC, and this will in fact have a positive outlook on the growth of console games
Okay,
because
okay.
people in Southeast Asia who are
So it
not
seems
as
like what this gentleman's,
uh,
I gentleman,
like as
I apologize,
great in
honestly.
terms of their ability to buy consoles
Is saying
will
that
increase
maybe
in the next few
they'll
years, but we don't
dive
see
into
that it
console
will
gaming
be the main platforms for gaming in Southeast Asia.
within the next
Southeast
couple
Asia
of years,
may
which I think is
stay
kind of
as
cool,
mobile
actually.
first for like the foreseeable future.
Yeah. Okay. Thank you for that. Another question from Daniel. Do you have any data? Um, um, do you have any data or info regarding free-to-play games versus fully priced games?
Yes, we do have it in our reports. In general, almost all of Southeast Asian countries, including Malaysia, uh, they the gamers, like most of them, when we surveyed and then from the company profiles and company data that we collected, most of them prefer free-to-play games with in-app purchase
Of
options
course, that's with any
instead of
game.
premium games. And
Mm.
this is related to how most gamers in Southeast
And what
Asia
I'm
are
gonna do, guys,
mobile gamers, and
when
most
Danny comes
mobile
on,
games are
when the
free-to-play
video
games.
goes live,
Okay.
I'll cut this all
Good
out
to know. Cyrus asked
and I'll
again
start
Garena
the
on
stream.
any of the slides. How much participation of Garena
Well, the video will
in
start
Malaysia
when Danny comes on, and this
gaming?
is all
Well, you don't
over
see it
here.
on the slides, but it's there as like some of the games that I showed there
Mm.
are Garena games like Free Fire, and then League of Legends are also published by Garena in Southeast Asia. So even though I don't mention them by name, they have a big presence in Malaysia because like the top games that are popular in Malaysia, both in PC and mobile, are published or developed by Garena,
Mm-hmm.
and they have like an active fan base and an active
Yeah, I
business
thought
going on in
it was
Malaysia.
supposed to start a few
Perfect.
minutes ago.
So
I didn't realize it was gonna be a
thank you for
Q&A
that. The other question
at
from
the end here.
Hannah, looking at if there is any data on the most effective channels Malaysian studio have used to connect with major AAA developers. So and when we say channels, meaning the marketing channels. So is there a link to LinkedIn networking events and so on?
Well, in general, because Malaysia has a very great MICE, like the Meeting Incentives Conference and Exhibits business, I think that will be the main place for business to business partnership to grow. I mean, we participated in Level Up KL for a few years before the pandemic, and we saw like lots of cooperations, lots of networking events happening there. And yeah, that will be the main channel. But during the pandemic, online channels are fine, but of course it will be different compared to inside events.
Mm,
Hmm.
yeah, and I think that one point there is one other question that maybe you can type afterward. That would be the last question for now. That in the backstage we were talking about what's so unique now in the time of the Malaysia gaming ecosystem, that if in the past it was more of looking at export and maybe the
You know something? I actually would have
so
liked to
that
have
it's a little bit
asked a
changed.
question for this guy.
If you can elaborate on that
And I
a
was just
little bit.
thinking about it.
Yeah,
It's early in the
Malaysia
morning,
has a
so
very developed studios environment. There are plenty of top AAA studios that are available in Malaysia, and previously most of the Malaysian AAA studios, they try to sell the games, they try to export the games and see like the West or China as their main export markets. But with the growth of Malaysian domestic gamers, with the growth of the revenues and ARPUs across the board in Malaysia, I think now it's the best time to introduce their games to the domestic
Mm.
gamers in Malaysia. And because now it's the best time, everyone's playing games now. It's online.
yep.
Yeah, definitely. And I think that as we discussed, it's a unique
That's like the one thing
positioning
that
because of much of
got me into this whole mobile scene.
companies outside of Malaysia
A lot of
kind of
people
have the nuance
have
locally compared
a
to
phone,
the
a
kind of
tablet, right?
usual strategy
Not everybody
development
has
kind of
a
games
console or a
studio.
crazy PC type of thing.
Great. So I think
But little
we
kids can
are
have a
out of
phone.
time, but for the question. If
adults,
you could
grandparents,
stay
you
later,
know,
just check
and
check
people
your
everywhere
answer,
Sure.
and I will move over to
have
a
phones.
quick message.
And I actually know this Cyrus
Yeah,
guy on the bottom right there. I've seen him before.
Elaine.
Hello.
Hey, Elaine.
Hey, Lane.
Okay, thank you, Yuval. And hello, my name is Elaine Chu. I'm the conference manager at Gamescom Asia. Thank you again for joining us today. By now, you would have had a better understanding of the key markets in the region, especially for those of you who have been following our monthly boot camps. So, what is next is that we want to provide you a bigger and better experience by bringing the industry together at a hybrid Gamescom Asia trade conference. So, in other words, online and offline participation and content. So, the main conference,
What's up, Vic?
Games 360, yeah, will cover all aspects of the video game industry, covering themes like game development and design, production and team management, business and marketing, esports, next gen tech, including like cloud gaming, XR, and more. We also have a spin-off event for mobile games, the Mobile Gaming Summit. The summit has a dedicated focus on mobile game development,
Huh.
publishing, and growth strategies. As you know, the global mobile game revenues continue to outpace the growth of on PC and consoles. So we believe this is an area that many of you would be interested to look into. So the good news is, with just one ticket, you can access
I
the
wish
world's
there was
largest
captions, not just for me, just
and
for like everybody else
mobile
as well.
gaming
But
summit. But of course, I'm not here to sell you tickets. So I'm here to announce that the call for speakers is now open
oh,
with
Matt, what's up?
volunteers. So if you would like to contribute to the conversation, share your success stories, war stories, exciting new ideas and strategies, hit the button below. Yeah, as you can see, there's a button that says speaker submission and bookmark it right now. However, if you are interested to attend, ticket details will be out in the next month. You can subscribe to our mailing list to stay updated. As you can see, there's also a button that says subscribe to mailing list. Yeah, to learn more about other programs and
Hmm.
opportunities
Interesting.
that we have in store for you at Gamescom Asia, please do talk to any of my colleagues in the chat. We love to share the details with you.
Gamescom
And
Asia.
thank you so much for watching. Stay safe, everyone. And now we'll move on to the next session.
Oh, this is it, boys and girls. All
Hi
right.
again. Thank you very much for the message. And just to make sure that everyone is still with us, let's try a quick checkup to see how you are. Let's see the level of energy in the room. If you are, a little bit tired,
All right, guys. So
press
Danny
1.
should
If
be
you are
hopping on
really
here.
excited and
Yeah, Zona.
high energy level, you can press 8, 9, or 10. So just 1 to 10. I just want to see 11. Perfect. 1,100.
All right, yo, I
Oh
like
my
this guy.
God. 999. Perfect. Okay. Great stuff.
I like this guy.
I see that. Wow. I put like a range, but then everyone just decided to create their own number, which is amazing. I think that this is why we're all in the gaming business, right? Because we are very creative about that. So that's perfect. And again, thank you very much for
Oh, I see
joining.
you, Daniel. I see you, Daniel, down
Let's
there.
move on. I'm feeling very excited, and I hope that you learned a lot as I learned in the last few sessions. But I'm also very excited about the next fireside chat with Danny Koo
All
of
right, guys.
Marvel Games.
So Danny
And
Koo
gonna
will be
share a lot of
hopping on
exclusive
here talking about
tips and
Marvel
tools
Future Revolution, guys. If you couldn't make it to the
of your
conference,
games that
I
Marvel
am currently live streaming it,
Superstore and Marvel
and I will
Future
put it
Revolution.
as a video here
And
on
Marvel
YouTube.
Future Revolution, as you might know, is going to be Marvel's first open world game on mobile. And I saw that a lot of you know Danny, and very excited to
Oh, we
have
love Danny up in here.
joining us. Moderating this panel is IGN Japan's chief editor Daniel Robson. Just a little bit about
We know Daniel. We
Daniel.
know Daniel.
Has over 20 years of experience in the entertainment media, starting in London as a music journalist and an editor, moving to Tokyo in 2006 to cover Japanese pop cultures for
All right,
Western
guys.
audiences. After a period, he was working at PlayStation Japan Studio from 2014. Daniel returned to media in 2016, joining the Japanese newsletter Sankei Digital to launch IGN Japan, where he runs the editorial team. Daniel also hosts IGN Japan flagship video series on gaming and movies.
Yeah, finally, Daniel.
In English for the global IGN site.
I've been up for about a half hour now, so it's not terrible for me.
And I hope that bring all the energy to Danny and Daniel.
Yes, Danny. James, I hope so. I don't know if they're gonna give us a release date. They might just be talking about it.
Hi everybody, I'm Daniel
Oh.
Robinson from IGN Japan, and I'm joined by Danny Koo, Director of Production at Marvel Games. Hi Danny.
Hi, how you doing?
Very, very good, man. It's really good to see you.
Oh, we're definitely full screening.
Yeah, it's the Daniel and Danny show again.
That's right. Sorry
Yes.
for confusing everybody.
All right.
Danny, we first met at a game event in Malaysia, which I believe is where you're from originally, is that right?
Yeah, I was born in Malaysia. I believe we met in 2019.
That's right.
It's part of the Malaysia game conference. End of the year, right? Yes.
Yeah, and it's been a while since we've been able to travel anywhere, so it's very nice to be able to connect with you like this over video. I think so. We're going to talk today about Marvel games and how
Let's
you guys
go.
work with different developers to get your characters and your stories into all kinds of games across all kinds of platforms. You guys are doing a pretty incredible job of getting,
Thank you.
Not only getting games onto all these platforms, but consistently getting good games onto these platforms, which is a whole other conversation. So I'd like to ask you all about that. First of all, let's start by just hearing a little bit about yourself, your background. How did you end up at Marvel Games?
So yeah, hi again for anyone who didn't know. I'm Danny Koo. I was born in Malaysia. I was born and raised there, and I went to University of California, Irvine to study computer science and computer engineering, and actually have a minor in missile defense. Yes, at a very young age, I always wanted to make game content. I work summer jobs only to spend my entire wages on video games. And
Okay, Danny. You know, I feel that. I feel
why
that.
you spend all your money on video games? And now he realized that because I started at Sierra Entertainment as a QA tester, moved my way all the way up, build my portfolio and resume. Then I work at Activision, and then I have a stint in at Disney, and finally now
He worked at Activision.
I
Sorry
work at
about the
Marvel Games.
beeping noise,
That's how I got
guys.
started
Just trying to get the audio right.
5 years ago, actually, at Marvel Games. My role as director of product development is to oversee our Asia portfolio and also our games portfolio especially coming out from Asian developers, and grow the Marvel brand in Asia. It's quite popular Marvel brand. I also thankfully speak Mandarin, Cantonese, Malay, so I'm pretty fluent in
I speak
having
English.
conversation with developers.
But that's
at a
nice, though,
local
being
level,
able to talk to a wide
and
variety.
also try to pick up,
The audio is kinda low?
Japanese, Korean. My son goes to Korean school. I have to do some of his homework, so I learn at the same time,
How's that?
which is cool.
That's cool.
Yeah.
Okay, and obviously, Marvel Games as an entity has only existed for a short time, but there have been Marvel games for a long time. I mean, even when I was a kid, there were, X-Men games on the Mega Drive and whatever. There were tons and tons of Marvel games everywhere. What exactly is the Marvel Games team now? Why was the team formed? What do you do? Can you tell us a little more about Marvel Games?
So we are at Marvel Games. We're all Marvel fans. Kind of think of us like Avengers Assemble. So this our business unit leader Jay Ong, when he started at Marvel, he took a look at the market and took a look at the company, and he formed what we call a Marvel 2.0. Basically, we used to do, whenever a Marvel movie comes in, you get your Marvel movie game that is relevant to the particular Marvel movie.
Makes sense, of
Um,
course.
and it feels like it's kind of redundant because you go watch a movie, you get the same content
I okay
in a
that
video
okay
game,
that I
so
can
you
understand.
experience the same thing. And also, if you haven't watched the movie, it's a spoiler for you as well on the games. So that got him thinking. It's like, hey, if we able to produce our own comics, our own television show and movies, we should be able to produce our own games. So he assembled a team of Marvel fans, if you will, with all kind of diversity background. You know, um, my teammates come from like various industry, but all of them are gamers and they work at other game companies before. So basically, Avengers Assemble, we formed this Marvel Games team, and we partner with fantastic developers that are expert in their relative genre and craft our own story and craft our own game with them and produce hits after hits. It's what you see today for Marvel games.
Hmm.
Hmm. I mean, it's not like you guys are directly developing the games yourselves. You're working with all kinds of partner publishers and developers. I was looking, because as I say, there were Marvel-related games before Marvel Games was formed. But I was just looking at your official site, and I mean, the list of games is pretty impressive. Everybody already, of course, knows Avengers and Spider-Man and Miles Morales series that are on PlayStation. We've had a Marvel huge tie-up in Fortnite. There are all kinds of games on mobile, Future Revolution, Marvel Super War.
Future Revolution.
There's
Let's go.
Lego games. There's Ultimate Alliance. There's Strike Force. There's Puzzle Quest. There's the Telltale games, Guardians of the Galaxy. There's so many different games coming out on all kinds of different platforms. So I'd love to drill down a little bit into some of those. Let's start with Marvel Future Revolution.
Okay, this is it, everybody.
This is obviously a mobile game being made together with Netmarble in Korea, and I'm very curious to know more about where mobile as a platform fits in for you guys. Obviously, with you especially being focused on Asia, mobile is a huge market in Asia, but growing in the West as well. How do you guys see mobile? How does that fit in with other platforms and with Marvel Future Revolution in particular? Why did you go that route?
So as you pointed out, we have an incredible diverse portfolio, and we also, we are the reason we have so many of this, and bear in mind this happened the last 5 years. All the titles you see on the website right now. This is how we expand the awareness of Marvel content to however fans choose to engage. Right? They have cell phones, they have console, they have VR. They have the console of the choice. So we want to be there to serve up Marvel content to all our fans, however they choose to be. In terms of mobile, it's very important to us. It's a huge market, as you pointed out, especially in Asia.
Yep.
You know, they, their primary gaming device is on the phone, and then think of it, think of us like a creative extension arm of each of these Asian developers or Western developers. Um, when they develop game, we are embedded with them in creative choices of storytelling, the character art style. We have an incredible creative team in Marvel Games that work with them on that, and also we wear several hats, in terms of product development, marketing, branding. We work with developers on that day to day. Especially in the climate right now, it's especially important that we are able to have constant communication, and and we're
That should have
talking right now
started
on
in
Zoom, and
March
Zoom
of
is a
2020,
favorite tool
Daniel. Maybe even a little bit earlier
for
when they announced it.
for us to talk to all
Obviously,
the
I don't know,
developers.
but
Um, going back to Marvel Future Revolution, it's a very very ambitious game. We did our first title with Netmarble from South Korea. called Marvel Future Fight, and this is our second title with them. We trust each other so much. We know how each other work, and why not do a second title? And and we announced this title back in last year at PAX East, and just right before everybody got shut down on quarantine.
That was the
you know,
last physical show I got to go to. Yeah, it feels
yeah,
like a lifetime ago.
I know. It was a bummer. But hey, we work with them, and recently we are amping up on telling people what the game is all about, and we have
Yes.
from Monday to Friday daily we are showing new assets to show off on social media, to get the excitement going, right? So for Future Revolution, it's different. Traditionally how you view a mobile phone title. Like we want this to be like a triple A game on the mobile phone. It's done in Unreal Engine. It's a large scale triple A open world action RPG.
It's gonna be so good.
And a lot of people compare this with various competitors. That Fair Game is in Asia is known as MMO, but at the root, it's what Netmarble do best. It's action RPG, and with the open world, and players can have their single player campaign with PvE content, or multiplayer content like PvP.
Arena.
The other exciting aspect that we excited to introduce to the world is in this game there are millions of costume combination per character. So we have announced 8 playable characters. There are tons of costume choices you can do and combination, and this is going to be one of the biggest games we have offered this
That's
year.
gonna be crazy. Look at every single one.
Millions of combinations per character.
I'm not going to give you the exact number. It's in the triple-digit millions.
Wow. Okay.
What?
Yes. So with mobile title, you can also have a daily touch point with fans. That means like whenever we have a comic book event or a movie or a Disney Plus event, across all our mobile games, we can support that as well and bring in content as an event, if you will.
Cool. That's a no small undertaking. I think I have more questions regarding this, but first of all, I think you have a clip to share with us.
Oh, we have a clip?
Yes. Me and Netmarble decided to bring this exciting clip, sneak peek for the audience here.
Sneak peek,
I
guys.
hope you enjoy it. Here you go.
Here
What are we looking at?
Marvel
Oh, man.
Future Revolution. Please check it out.
Wow. What's up, Default?
Cool. Thanks for joining us today. So as I was saying before, I'm interested to know more about exactly how it is that you guys work with
Guys.
different developers, different platforms to get your games onto those.
Did anybody else just see that? What I just saw?
Right kind of stories into the right kind of games on the right kind of platforms, because it's a lot. I mean, talking about Future Evolution, where you have this massive open world RPG, there's a lot of content in that one game, but then you've also got all the other games as well. Something like Avengers on multiple platforms, for
Wow.
example. Then you have
That looks way too good.
Each platform has its own game that's sort of suited to that platform. So in terms of picking characters, picking stories, picking locations from the Marvel universe, how do you decide what content goes into what games, which partners to work with for those games, and
Wow.
keeping everything consistent?
I'll have to make that a separate
in terms of
video,
quality,
guys.
In terms of lore.
Yeah, think of our team like programmers in a network show. We know what the upcoming events way in the future from different line of business at Marvel, and we know what the characters are, what the locations are, and also we work with the developers what they are passionate about, right? If we are making, for example, Avengers game or Marvel Super War, it's like, hey, who are your favorite characters that you want to tell the story about? Then from there, we work together to kind of determine the character rosters and which is for launch and which one is for like continuation of the story, to kind of evenly pace it out. Depends on the games as well.
Marvel
Um,
Civil War was
we
very
also
good in
have
my
to
opinion.
ensure all the characters are well represented in terms of like diversity. How would they look when you put them all together?
Just a few
Um,
drawbacks in my opinion, though.
and in terms of different families of characters, it's like if this is an Avengers game, sure, we want Avengers in the game. But if this is like a general Marvel Universe games, like we would like different character representation, like from the Guardians, from Avengers, from Fantastic Four, from X-Men. Like we have so
Which
many
I
families
think
of
is huge, by the way.
representation in the game.
I think that's a
And then
great
also
idea.
we have to match the characters with the skills that the creators and game developers wanted for their gameplay purposes, right? It's like, hey, give me a tank. So we're like, okay, we have a lot of tank looking character or a fighter looking character, but what do you really want? Like, we drill down to like, sword based, spear based, magical based tank. It's like,
Yep.
what is a magical based tank, right? It's like, hey, can Doctor Strange be a tank? Sure, if you have a giant shield in front of him at all time, like that kind of creativity, we work with them all the time. And Super War has so many of this type of skill-based requirement for characters, and it's been very, very interesting to work with them, how to interpret our characters and match it with the skills they want for their mobile title.
Me too, Daniel.
I mean, I would guess probably part of your job also is with all these games going on at once, making sure that each game is sufficiently, different and that the timing is different, that they're not stepping on each other's toes, and that you don't see, two games that are really similar coming out at the same time. Is that something?
Yeah,
that you do?
yeah, our team have to do that, especially our business team. They look at the portfolio.
Daniel, that's a
we
good
plan
question. I
out,
like
hey,
that.
we really don't like similar games that comes and collide to each other, and then we also want to space them out. So you will never find us launching two games on the same day, that kind of stuff. And
Default.
and
He showed
it's
us
been
a
working
sneak peek.
well for the last 5 years, and of course,
Oh,
in
some
the
more
game
gameplay.
development, things changes all the time, due to whatever circumstances. It's game development.
Iron Man, different costumes and whatnot. It was actually
Then
really
we have
cool.
to, just like any network programming TV show, like we have to reprogram everybody's timeline and stuff. And
Yeah,
that's,
Ninja, I'm gonna
very
make it its
interesting,
own
but
separate
very
video.
rewarding
That
when
that sneak peek
when
that he
it's done
showed.
right.
I'm gonna
Sure.
download this
I mean, it's something
clip
that,
here.
not only with games.
Oh, you did
Marvel
see it, Default?
become very
Okay.
Strong at across all of its different outlets, with movies as well and even comics.
Exactly.
Having
Yeah.
not competing, but
Not
complementing
really, Default, no.
storylines going on across different.
Yeah, I would say it's a very complementary relationship.
So I believe you mentioned Marvel Super War just now, which is a game made together with NetEase Games on mobile. And I believe you have an exclusive clip for us to see right now. Would you like to tell us a little bit about that?
Yes, in the interest of continuing increased representation in the Asia region, today we want to show you for the first time ever Wave's debut in Marvel Super War.
Awesome. Let's check out the video.
All right.
Marvel Civil War. I'm gonna lower the audio a little bit.
Look what the tide brought in. Me.
That's really cool, though. Marvel Super War was
I don't always do what I
was
do.
very good in my opinion.
I do what's right.
Oh, that's it. Nice.
That was a cool clip. Thanks for sharing that.
Yeah,
And,
you're welcome.
Danny, so Wave is a character from the Philippines, which takes us nicely into our next topic, which is, you touched on it a little bit already, but getting more diversity into your games.
Has anybody played Marvel Super
Marvel's
War?
been doing this not only with games, of course, but with all of its media. But in particular, with you, being focused on Asia yourself, And we have Wave. We also have other characters such as the Warriors of the Sky characters, which I believe you were involved with, and Kestrel and various other characters, you know, that are from here in Asia. So how do you go about that? So some of these characters maybe are being, you know, created specifically for a particular comic or a particular game, a particular property. Other characters are being pulled in, you know, that already existed in the Marvel universe. What's your kind of day-to-day, you know, going about bringing those characters into a new era of Marvel games?
Yeah, so it's all about timing and developer availability. I think we really hit our stride when we first started creating our Marvel first K-pop superhero Luna Snow with Netmarble. And when we created that, it seemed like it's very well received. It's the first South Korean representation properly come from the game side. And if you look at Luna, and she transitioned from the game into the comics called Agents of Atlas, which is written by Greg Pak. And in Agent of Atlas, Korea was getting invaded by hell, if you will. In the same comic as well, Wave debut from the Philippines. So this is like a global event, and and we
See, I like that
know that
about
Wave
Marvel Super
is
War.
going to come out in that issue, and we thought, hey, they are a team, team of like Asia superheroes coming together to save the the Asia corner of the world.
They added in
We-
heroes
We took Wave and debut her
that
in
aren't
Marvel
mainstream.
Future Fight as well, and it was very, very well received. And so we know that Marvel fans in Asia really like content that represent themselves as well. So I am daily every day talking to developers and find ways to introduce all these characters into different games, so that everyone can get a taste of what diversity means to them. And in celebration of Asian Heritage Month this month, it is also important to highlight creators from the Asian community, especially studios that is as good as the Western development strength as well in terms of presentation, graphic presentation, technology execution, and all that good stuff.
How do you guys go about making sure that those characters remain authentic and it's not just a sort of a Western take on what Asian characters might look like, but actually making sure that they ring true?
Yeah, so like when we created the Luna Snow, Crescent, and Ayo, we work with locals, in Korea. They're from there, and we do research, into
That's
some
crazy.
lore and local culture. We also have the Disney organization in Asia
So they've
that have
wow.
people that can help us, give us their opinions
A lot of
and
different
feedback
perspectives
about what
on
resonates,
what goes
what
into
doesn't
it.
resonate, or what is taboo. It's like, hey, you shouldn't do that. This is considered bad in Asia, that kind of stuff. So we are very, very careful about that. We just so far all the Asian characters are being done, with Asian creators. And of course, we recently have Kestrel. She's also
No, Default.
Malaysian born.
You only showed the sneak
as
peek.
well. But
You didn't say
she's
anything
like,
about
a
beta,
scientist
alpha
working
release,
with
anything
NASA,
like that yet.
and so she moved to the US. So I kind of
There's going to be a
related to
Q&A
that as well
at
as
the
born in
end.
Malaysia and kind of immigrated.
That's
to
when we'll ask him about it.
the US as well. So that kind of authentic story that we want to tell as well as presenting characters, representation from Asia.
Yeah, I think that's an important distinction as well, because obviously, in the modern world, people do move around. I mean, I'm from England, I live in Japan, and you're from Malaysia, you're living in the States, right? And
Right.
People do move around in that way, and especially there are Asian communities all around the world, and so seeing that kind of it's not just a Malaysian character who's in Malaysia or that kind of thing, but to see a Malaysian character who maybe she grew up in the States, maybe she's been there for a while. Which gives you another kind of sort of slightly sort of a variation on what that identity means. It's nice to see that reflected in Marvel.
I would agree.
Yeah, I thought it was interesting too because superhero transcends countries, if you will. It's a global phenomenon. It's like there's a hero in everybody, right? No matter where you are, and we put the human in superhero, right? So the human elements we still need to retain, no matter what.
Okay, and another sort of on a similar kind of theme, another character I'd like to touch on is Kamala Khan, Ms. Marvel. She was a character that was sort of repurposed in the comics more recently as a Muslim character who grew up in the States from Pakistani descent, and she hadn't yet been introduced on the screen yet. She hadn't been in the movie. There is a TV show coming up, I believe, in the near future on Disney Plus, but we haven't actually seen her that much in action outside of the comics. But there she was in the Avengers game as the main character in the solo campaign of that game, which I thought was a great choice for several reasons. One, because she's a really interesting character, and personally, as someone who grew up in London, which is quite a diverse city, she reminded me of a lot of people I know, and I actually felt quite a strong connection in that way. But also because because she's a character who's kind of a fangirl of the Avengers, it's a good way to get you into an Avengers game storyline. But also,
I wasn't a crazy huge fan of
and so having
Avengers.
a game like the Avengers, Square Enix's Avengers by Crystal Dynamics, which is obviously.
If you guys are just tuning in now,
there's a lot of movies,
Daniel and Danny are talking about Avengers. They mentioned Marvel Super War.
But they don't have to worry about.
They did show a sneak peek, kind of like trailer of Marvel Future Revolution earlier.
To leave that game.
I will have that up as a separate video. I will go back and record it.
Yeah, it was discussed at length.
If you haven't dropped a like on the stream yet, be sure to drop a like. I greatly appreciate it, and subscribe to the channel.
From the very beginning, she is the focal point. Since the announcement trailer, if you remember back then, that's just I believe it was just a shield, and then this Mjolnir, and it was just Kamala's voice. If you remember her voice,
that's right.
And everyone was like, who is that girl, right? Her role as a lead POV character, right? It served really well as a narrative, created by the team at Crystal Dynamics. Of course, in collaboration with us as well. She is the ultimate Avenger fangirl, and because of her fanaticism, served her well in her journey to help her reconcile or even reassemble the Avengers team. Like, she is like the perfect cast, and Kamala is just like us. She embodies the spirit, like all of us, like every Marvel fan who just wants to get the band back together. Like her powers also is interesting because of her stretch. She's able to stretch. She's able to grow big. Like, she's very stretchy, and it allows
she's very stretchy.
Very dynamic gameplay. So she was a natural choice for a character that player would spend a lot of time playing as. And also it helps that Sandra Sard did a very good job in portraying both like the teenager Kamala and also the preteen Kamala as well.
What else have we got to look out for this year coming from Marvel games?
So of course we have Marvel Future Revolution. It's going to launch globally. We haven't announced the date yet. It's still hush hush. But
come on, Danny.
You can tell us. Why don't you just?
I can guarantee you. And then also we have Marvel Super War.
No, Danny.
As well. And
no.
I haven't tell anyone about the release date. Right now is undergoing closed beta tests. It's been going well, and please look forward to that in China. And of course, as you mentioned, the big Wakanda content coming to Marvel's Avengers.
Dude, so we're not getting release date info,
we do
guys.
have some tricks up our sleeve. Please watch out for them at E3 because there are a lot of stuff that we have not revealed yet.
E3, okay.
Again, you're welcome to tell us all about it right now.
We are the House of Secrets.
Oh, right. Danny, he's killing us, guys.
I suppose since we have just a couple minutes left, how do you keep all this stuff secret? I mean, there's obviously, you're a professional person is the answer, I'm sure. But when you've got all of this stuff and it's so exciting, and I'm sure you get bombarded with questions from all around all the time, is it hard to sometimes just say, I can't talk about that yet? How do you keep that stuff to yourself?
yeah, the natural instinct is to like, I want to tell you everything that's happened
Tell us
at
everything,
all
Danny.
times. Now, having worked in the industry for so long, like over 17 years, 18 years now,
Yo, Danny's
um,
killing me.
you kind of get a sense. It's like, hey, when you have the right time to tell fans, it will be a pleasant surprise for
Yo,
them,
Daniel, I know you like
an
that.
emotional surprise for them. If we are about to leak some stuff, it will ruin the surprise and they're no longer excited. And we want this to be, as exciting as possible. And we'll want to keep the pacing throughout the year and not announcing like everything all at once at one go. Marvel IP is popular, around the world. We have the comics, we have the movies, we have the TV shows, we have the games, and there's so much activity going on the entire year.
Yeah.
There are a bunch of rumors that's flowing around, and we don't address rumors at all. And I feel like having us keeping this secret until the right time is always the best way to go. And it's a shock and awe tactic. Like, wow, I can't believe you did this, right?
Excellent. Yeah, that's a very good.
I'm trying to think of a question. Thank you, Default. I appreciate it.
So, Danny, I think we're out of time. Thank you so much for this chat today. I really enjoyed it. I wish we could chat for much longer. I think there's going to be a Q&A, a live Q&A after this.
I know, James. I know.
We'll get to chat a little bit more.
Someone said something about
go
alpha
chat
or
with
beta.
the audience.
Exactly. But for everyone who's watched up until now,
Let me see.
Danny Koob, Director of Production at Marvel Games. I'm Daniel Robson at IGN Japan. Thanks for
Start
joining
development.
us at Gamescom Asia's Games Market Bootcamp Malaysia for this Marvel Games fireside
Villains.
chat. And we're waiting for your questions. Let's go.
Thank you,
Let's
Ninja.
go.
When we get to play the beta.
There you go.
All right, Q&A time.
Hello, everybody. Can you hear us? I hope you can. I hope you enjoyed.
Yes.
Everyone, can you hear us now? Maybe. Yeah. I hope you guys enjoyed the panel.
Yeah.
And
Someone tell us that you can hear us. All right. Awesome. Fantastic.
awesome. I think we're good. I think we're good, Danny.
All right.
Everyone, we're going to take questions now for about 10 minutes. If you have a question, if you look at the chat panel on the right-hand side, there is a Q&A tab in there. If you put your questions in there, then they will arrive in a place where we can see them. So please be sure if you have a question, don't put it in the general chat, put it in the Q&A, and we will check it out. Danny, shall we crush through some of these questions that we've accumulated? What do you think?
All right, let's do it.
I love
Awesome.
Danny.
So I think that the first one, let's get this one.
He's a
I
straight
know
chillin'.
this is a question that you're very keen to answer as quickly as possible from Gabrielle Guzman. When will Marvel Super War be released globally?
It's not.
Yep. Currently, Marvel Super Bowl is only for Asia. We have no plans for global at this time.
That's kind of
Sorry
one of the
about
reasons
that.
why I stopped
Gabrielle?
playing.
Gabrielle, on a similar note, when will Marvel Future Revolution launch? We've seen a lot of questions about this, not only in the chat today, but on your Twitter for the last week and a half. Do you have an answer?
I feel like this for the last 10 years they've been asking me that. Yes, Marvel Future Revolution will launch. Good stuff. We at this time we will not announce the release date yet. We do have planned when to announce that, and please look forward to it.
Okay, I think we'll have to accept that as your answer.
Dang.
So let's go for another Future Revolution related question. When
like
did
this, Daniel.
MFR, I guess we're calling it MFR now. This is from Daniel O. When did MFR start development? Can you talk a little bit about when and maybe how the development started off?
So I think at the end of let me see, we're in 20. I gotta count back.
2021. I know time doesn't mean as much as it used to, huh?
Exactly. Around 2018, we were discussing with Netmarble Monster CEO in a Korean tofu house. We were eating, and we were talking about how good the Future Fight success was, and what would be the next game, and through that an hour lunch, we managed to kind of hash out an idea. Say, hey, what about MMO? And then it started from there. We ideated it, and and then we go into development, and the rest is
I just want to
history.
ask this
And
question
fast
here.
track to today, and we're gonna present this game globally to
I don't know if they were
all
gonna.
the gamers.
Awesome.
I don't know if they're gonna answer it, but
Let's see, where should we go next? How about BB Drake would like to know, are we going to see more X-Men heroes like Cyclops, Wolverine, and Psylocke in Marvel's Super War in the future?
Yes, Marvel Super War is a Marvel Universe title. It's gonna consist of a lot of
you guys
your
be sure
favorites,
to thumbs
and
up my
yes,
my comment
I
there.
can see them
my
coming
question.
in the future.
Basically,
Mm-hmm.
I'm
That's
asking
not
like,
confirming a particular character coming in the
'cause I
future.
know with some
Put
MOBAs,
it out there.
It's not
You know,
saying necessarily
developers reach
Cyclops
out
and or Wolverine and or Psylocke,
they offer
but
them
some
like
X-Men
free
heroes.
skins and
Yeah,
that type of stuff,
okay.
like early access
And
to
by
whatever.
future, you mean
That's
exactly
what I was
which
kind
date?
of getting at right there for my question.
After today,
After today. That's
till
a
forever.
good answer. Good answer. Okay, let's see. I was about to ask another question, then I noticed it's from the same person, so maybe we'll come back to that one shortly.
Probably you, Daniel. Nice job, Daniel.
How about this one
Nice.
then? This is also from Daniel O, but will
it
some
is
villains be playable in MFR?
At this point in time, you have seen a lot of villains out there. We have no plans to announce whether they are playable or not playable at this time. So you just have to wait.
Yo, Danny's killing us.
Thanks,
So
Daniel.
diplomatic. So diplomatic.
Yo, Danny.
I hope I'm pronouncing this right. Will from Aguinaldo Jr.
Bro.
Will Marvel Future Revolution be more or less like DC Universe Online?
It's not like DC Universe Online at all. First of all, it's a different IP. Marvel, we are Marvel and DC. They have their respective IP. We have our own. It's an own unique title that I think no one has ever played before. It's ambitious. It's Marvel's first.
I'm super
open
excited.
world,
I really am.
action RPG on the mobile devices. So you have not seen this before, and I'm excited, and I can't wait to get this out to players.
Yo, it's killing Danny. You know it's killing him.
So you're basically saying that Superman is in it or isn't in it?
Absolutely not.
Dang, I was hoping
Okay.
for Superman.
From Riz Ragent. Riz Ragent asks, Oki, tough question, but why MOBA? There are many MOBAs that have failed, including produced by AAA. So what is the uniqueness of your MOBA?
So we love to collaborate with different.
I must
top-tier
say,
talented.
I like
developers
MOBAs.
that are, strong in
Marvel
their
Super War,
respective
I
genre.
was
And in
a
this
huge,
case, we have
huge
Marvel
fan.
Super War, which is a MOBA title.
I liked it
The
much better than
developer
all the
that
other
is,
MOBAs I've
one
played.
of their studios is actually behind the development of Omiyoji Arena, which is a quite successful mobile game, in China and in Asia as well. It's being played by a lot of players, and when we collaborate, we can also tell they are very enthusiastic about the Marvel universe, and it's a perfect match for us.
But bro, Danny's killing
to
us,
meet
dude. He's
such,
not giving us the answers we're looking for. He can't.
intense,
He knew this was
passionate,
gonna happen, but you
creators.
can't.
So this is how we partner with them to make this mobile title to serve players who like that kind of game in that region.
Okay. Thank you. There was a question that I saw earlier in the chat. It's not here in the questions list, and I'm just looking for it now. So I'm not quite sure who asked it, but somebody asked, hey, wouldn't it be nice to see a Malaysian superhero?
Yes, we do have
Yeah.
two so far. The first one is a debut in Marvel Future Fight called Sunbird. I think you have a poster.
I'm not
you
sure.
have
I
a
think
poster,
I think it's
right?
been just cropped out of frame, and I went to great lengths to put that up for today.
Right.
But,
So
yeah,
the
sorry,
first one
sorry,
was
we're gonna
Sunbird,
put it in.
the debut in Future Fight, and then the second one is a recently debut in Marvel Strike Force by the name of Castro. Yeah, there you go, Sunbird.
There you go.
There you go. That's a Malaysian superhero.
It's actually super
I
sick.
think that would answer
I like
the
that.
question. Yeah.
I hope so. And of course, we just we saw a little bit from Kestrel just now. as well in our during our fireside chat. So yeah, there's definitely a couple in there, and from other parts of Southeast Asia.
James, he's not
as
saying
well.
anything about release date. It was
It's
already
definitely
accurate,
nice to see the roster becoming,
I wish.
filling up from
he said
all
he
over
can't
the
say
world.
anything.
Let's see what else have we got here.
I want to answer my question though.
So
I have a different question than release date, because he did say that there's no confirmation yet. He can't talk about it.
What this is from Ziandi Uul. I'm sorry if I'm mispronouncing that. What do you think is the main challenge of developing characters and content that mainly caters to the Asian community?
So that's an interesting question. I'm gonna flip it around. It's not about developing characters that mainly caters to Asian community. Any creator would want to cater.
Yeah,
to,
default I will.
Have the impact globally, right? But you want to tell the story from a point of view of Asian community, which is usually underrepresented in a lot of Western media, and by elevating characters with stories and background that comes from, from the Asian communities, such as in Southeast Asia or Greater Asia, I think we can actually also help represent the voices from there and help new generation of superhero lovers to appreciate it, and they can see themselves in that too. And one of the challenge is making sure that the Asian community that you represent is as authentic as possible, and it's not like someone sitting at the other end of the world trying to create something that they never experienced.
That's like me trying to.
Thank you. Okay, and it sounds like we have time for just one more question. I had already highlighted one, so I think maybe we'll go with this one. The first part of the question we just answered, but the second part. So this is from Wayne Ng. He says, thanks to both for the fantastic sharing. The first part of the question was, any plans to see more fleshed out stories for Asian characters in Marvel games, which I think we've kind of touched on, but also, what excites you the most when a studio comes to pitch an exciting new game in the Marvel game universe? So all these different publishers, developers come to Marvel games, we want to make game X. What's the thing that grabs
system
you?
requirements, which I agree. We should
the thing that grabs me
something about that
is how passionate they are, and you
Dude,
realize
Daniel, he got us good, man.
Creators, like even big names.
I asked a question. They're just not gonna answer it. They have no time. So
stuff. And when they come here and when they pitch Marvel games, you expect them to pitch along the same thing, but they turn it around and give you complete something different and wow you. And we're like, wow, that's actually pretty cool, right? At Marvel games, we are all gamers. We are all Marvel IP fans as well.
That's upsetting. Not gonna lie.
Having such an honor to be able to,
we did get a sneak peek trailer type of thing,
and able to like talk with them. What
release
else
is
can we make in the Marvel
definite yet.
universe that excite fans around the world?
We have no idea about a beta or an alpha.
That's what excites me the most.
System requirements, not too sure. You can't play
Danny,
as
I think we're out of time.
everyone,
thank you so much for your questions. Thanks for watching this far. Danny, thank you. It's been really nice to
to those Marvel fans who will take this conversation. Continue in the chat.
Absolutely. So there are lots of questions left here. Maybe Danny, if you have time, you're welcome to go and reply to some of them by text, if that's something you have time to do. And I think we're going to pass back to Yuval in a moment. Everyone, thanks very much. It's been really nice to be able to join you all virtually in Malaysia today. Bye-bye.
Me too. Thanks for the invite. Bye.
Thank you, Danny and Daniel, and as everyone said, don't go, Danny, don't go. You should stay for more, but that's maybe one of the reasons that hopefully in Gamescom Asia that's happening in October, Danny will join and maybe we'll have more stuff to share with everyone. So
I hope so, Yuval. I hope so.
Up next, we have a panel discussion where we gather notable international and homegrown game companies Some of them is Sony Interactive Entertainment, Streamline Media Group.
All right.
Metro,
So that's
Metronomic,
gonna wrap it up, guys.
Taken,
From here on, there's really not a
Malaysian,
whole lot for us to,
they will
you know,
share
really
experience from co-development
talk about here.
games like Final Fantasy.
We kind of got cooked a little bit on there, but what can you do? Danny is in chat though,
Moderating this panel,
but
we will have Sean Beck,
default he did not say anything.
IGDA Malaysia. Sean is also a unique
Oh, Danny's gonna answer some questions.
engineer and runs an independent
Can I add him? Oh, I can.
studio called Waveworks Productions. So please join me in welcoming Sean and his panelists.
Okay.
Joy.
We're gonna pause this because we actually don't need to we actually don't need that anymore. So I'm gonna put on some music and let's see if Danny's gonna answer some questions in chat. So yes, let's go over it quick. There was no confirmation if you could play as a villain. I'm gonna say probably not Daniel. System requirements he didn't go over. Marvel Super War isn't gonna be global, which has nothing to do with Future Revolution. I'm just kind of thinking of everything that happened here. The sneak peek. No release date yet. He didn't even say that it was gonna be for later this year. He didn't say this year or next year, which I thought he could have given something broad. You know, he could be like, oh, it'll happen in 2021. Yo, so wait. Okay, yeah, so we do see the daily post on social media already. Hopefully he answers my question for an alpha or beta. I don't think he will, which is kind of messed up. I should say something to him on Twitter. Tell him it's not nice of him to do that. I'm just kind of seeing if he answers in here. No. I think that might just be it, guys. It doesn't seem like Danny's gonna give out too much vital information that we're looking for. So that's gonna wrap up the stream. Thank you guys for coming by. I greatly appreciate it. I'm going to make a video after this and kind of gather our thoughts here. Show the sneak peek trailer that he showed us. And yeah, guys, everybody have a wonderful day. Thank you all so much for coming by. I greatly appreciate it. And have a great one, everybody.